On the endless, sun-baked plains of Africa, a silent tension weaves through the golden grass. Here every shadow and every whisper of wind carries the story of survival. In this ancient theatre, two titans of the wild play out a drama as old as the land itself. The African Cape buffalo, a living fortress of muscle and bone, moves with a deliberate, unhurried power. Its thick, dark hide is scarred by the trials of the Savanna, each mark a testament to battles fought and dangers overcome. Weighing up to 1,000 kilograms, the buffalo is a force of nature, unyielding, unpredictable, and ever watchful. Its broad chest and sturdy legs root it to the earth, a living bastion of strength. The buffalo's head, held low, sweeps the horizon with dark, knowing eyes, eyes that have witnessed countless seasons of drought, flood, and the relentless pursuit of predators. Among the most striking features of this formidable beast is its crown of horns. These are not mere ornaments, but weapons forged in the crucible of survival. The horns curve outward and downward, then sweep up into sharp, deadly points ready to defend against any threat. In mature males, the bases of the horns fuse into a solid, helmet-like boss, a shield of bone designed to absorb the thunderous impact of head-to-head clashes with rivals and to repel the attacks of the savanna's most fearsome hunters. The buffalo's reputation as the Black Death is well earned. Its unpredictable temper and immense strength make it one of the most dangerous animals on the continent. When threatened, it can charge with astonishing speed, turning the tables on even the most skilled predators. Yet, the buffalo is not alone in this realm. Lurking in the tall grass, the lion, the undisputed king of predators, watches with patient, golden eyes. The lion's presence is felt as a constant, invisible pressure, shaping the lives of every creature on the plains. The relationship between buffalo and lion is a delicate balance of power and peril. The buffalo's acute senses, its keen hearing, sharp eyesight, and powerful sense of smell, are always attuned to the faintest hint of danger. Every rustle in the grass, every shift in the wind is registered and assessed. The herd moves as one, a living shield of bodies and horns. Calves are kept at the center, protected by the formidable adults. When lions approach, the buffaloes form a defensive wall, their heads lowered, horns ready, eyes blazing with defiance. The lion, for its part, is a master of patience and strategy. It studies the herd, searching for weakness, a moment of distraction, a young or injured buffalo straying too far from the group. When the time is right, the pride explodes from the grass in a coordinated assault, testing the resolve and unity of the buffalo. Sometimes the lions succeed, and the savanna echoes with the sounds of the hunt, but often it is the buffalo's raw power and unbreakable spirit that prevails. With a thunderous charge, the herd scatters its attackers, sending even the bravest lions fleeing for safety. This eternal struggle shapes both hunter and hunted. The buffalo's resilience is forged in the fires of conflict, its body and mind honed by the ever-present threat of predation. The lion, in turn, is sharpened by the challenge, its cunning and strength tested against one of the savanna's most formidable adversaries. To witness the buffalo and lion in their endless dance is to glimpse the heart of the wild, a world where strength, intelligence, and courage are the keys to survival. Here, life is a precious, hard-won prize, and every day is a testament to the enduring spirit of Africa. The buffalo stands as a living monument to this struggle, its form and presence a declaration of survival against all odds. It is the untamable spirit of the savanna, a king in its own right, ruling its domain through sheer force of will and unyielding strength. And always in the distance the lion waits, reminding all who dwell here that the balance of life and death is never far away. The existence of the Cape buffalo is governed by an unwavering rhythm, an endless march in pursuit of sustenance and survival. Each day the herd awakens beneath the vast sky, their bodies pressed close together for warmth and reassurance, the soft grunts and shuffles of their companions the first sounds to greet the dawn. As the first rays of sunlight spill across the savanna, the herd stirs. Shadows stretch long and thin, and the golden grasses sway as hundreds of hooves begin to move in unison. The buffalo rise, their powerful forms silhouetted against the glowing horizon, and the day's journey begins anew. Grazing is their lifeblood. Each buffalo lowers its massive head, sweeping the earth with wide muzzles, tearing mouthfuls of grass with practiced efficiency. The herd spreads out, yet remains connected, each animal aware of its neighbors, the constant rustle of feeding a sign of unity and safety. For hours they feed. The old and wise select the choicest patches, while calves mimic their mothers, learning the subtle art of foraging. The dominant bulls, their horns heavy and scarred, chew methodically, always alert to the shifting moods of the herd. When the grass thins, the herd moves as one, a living river flowing across the plains. The matriarchs lead, their memories guiding the way, while the young and vulnerable are shielded within the protective mass. The march is slow but purposeful, each step a testament to endurance. Hooves churn the earth, raising clouds of dust that hang in the morning air. The herd follows ancient trails worn smooth by generations, their senses attuned to the faintest scent of rain or the distant glimmer of water. This migration is not aimless. Each buffalo is driven by instinct, a deep knowledge passed down through countless seasons. The herd's movement is a tapestry of purpose, woven from the needs of the many and the wisdom of the few. The lead animals pause at every fork, sniffing the wind, reading the land. Their choices shape the fate of all who follow, and the herd trusts in their guidance, moving with a shared determination. When the rains come, the savanna transforms. The herd finds patches of emerald grass, and the buffalo graze with renewed vigor, savoring the sweetness of new growth. Calves leap and play, their energy a brief respite from the demands of the march. In the dry season, the grass grows tough and sparse. Yet the buffalo endure, their digestive systems extracting every possible nutrient from the brittle blades. Their jaws work tirelessly, grinding down the coarse forage that sustains them when little else can. Even as the land cracks and the rivers shrink, the herd persists. Their bodies grow lean, but their spirit remains unbroken. The old support the young, and the strong shield the weak, each buffalo playing its part in the survival of the whole. The daily procession is slow, measured, and unyielding. Each step is a testament to the resilience that defines the herd, a living chain stretching across the plains, bound by the shared need to endure. Water is the lifeblood of the march. When the scent of moisture drifts on the wind, the herd's pace quickens, anticipation rippling through the ranks. The youngest push forward, eager for relief, while the elders keep a watchful eye on the horizon. As the herd nears a waterhole, caution takes hold. The buffalo slow, nostrils flaring, eyes scanning every shadow. The memory of danger lingers in every step, for the water's edge is a place of both life and peril. Predators gather where prey must drink. Crocodiles lurk beneath the surface, and lions wait in the tall grass, their presence felt even when unseen. The herd's unity is its shield, each buffalo relying on the vigilance of the others. At the water's edge, the herd forms a protective barrier. The boldest step forward, testing the ground while others stand guard, muscles tense and senses heightened. The air is thick with anticipation, ears flick, tails swish, and every movement is measured, the herd's collective awareness focused on the unseen threats that may be lurking nearby. The led buffalo pause, nostrils wide, reading the scents carried on the breeze. Only when the all-clear is given do they lower their heads, drinking deeply, while others remain vigilant, eyes scanning the banks and the water's surface. Drinking is a communal act, a moment of vulnerability shared and protected by the group. The herd's strength lies in its unity, each buffalo trusting the others to sound the alarm at the first sign of danger. As the sun dips low, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the herd's pace slows, The endless march pauses, if only for a moment, as dusk settles over the plains. The buffalo gather, lying close together in the open, their bodies forming a living fortress. Calves nestle against their mothers, and the herd's breathing slows, a gentle rhythm in the cooling air. Rest is communal, a time for healing and renewal. Yet even in repose, the herd remains alert, the bond between individuals unbroken by sleep. Night brings unease, the herd shifts and murmurs, ears twitching at every sound, eyes reflecting the faintest glimmer of moonlight. The youngest huddle close, comforted by the presence of their elders. In the darkness, predators prowl, the buffalo sense their presence, the tension in the air a silent warning. The herd's unity is its greatest defense, each animal ready to rise at a moment's notice. Sleep is light and fleeting. At the slightest disturbance, the herd is on its feet, a wall of muscle and horn prepared to defend against any threat. So the cycle continues, grazing, marching, drinking and watching. The endless march of the buffalo is a story of resilience, cooperation, and the unbreakable bonds that define life on the savanna. The Cape buffalo's greatest weapon is not its horns, but its profound sense of community, a living shield forged by countless generations of survival on the unforgiving savanna. These animals form immense herds, sometimes stretching as far as the eye can see, each individual bound to the next by invisible threads of instinct and loyalty. In these herds, every buffalo is both guardian and protected, their fates intertwined. This is no accidental congregation. The herd is a living organism, its members moving in harmony, communicating through subtle shifts in posture, low rumbles, and the flick of a tail. Each buffalo knows its place, and every movement is a signal, a message passed from one to another. Within this society, leadership emerges naturally. Dominant females, often the oldest and wisest, guide the herd's direction, while powerful bulls flank the edges, ever watchful for threats. Their silent coordination is a testament to generations of learned behavior. The herd's unity is its greatest defense. Each buffalo draws strength from the collective, and the collective is only as strong as its weakest member. Alone, a buffalo is exposed. Its sense is sharp, but its defense is limited. But together the herd becomes a fortress, a wall of muscle and horn that few predators dare challenge. When danger stirs, the transformation is immediate. Heads snap up, nostrils flare, and a ripple of tension passes through the herd like a silent alarm. At the faintest scent of a lion, the herd's collective awareness sharpens. Eyes scan the horizon, bodies press closer, and the air vibrates with anticipation. There's no chaos, no frantic flight. Instead, the herd contracts, drawing together in a seamless, impenetrable mass. They form a living barricade, a circle of protection with the strongest at the edge and the most vulnerable at the heart. Calves and elders are gently but firmly guided to the center, shielded by layers of vigilant adults. Every movement is purposeful, every position chosen for maximum safety. The bulls, massive and resolute, lower their heads and present a wall of horns to the outside world. Their presence is a warning. Any threat must face the full fury of the herd. This united front is a formidable sight, a living testament to the power of solidarity. Predators hesitate, calculating the risk of challenging such a force. The herd's stance is not passive. Muscles tense, hooves dig into the earth, and the air hums with the promise of action. Should a predator dare to attack, the response is swift and overwhelming. The herd surges forward as one, a tidal wave of power and fury. The ground trembles beneath their charge, dust rising in swirling clouds as hundreds of hooves pound the earth. The herd becomes a single, unstoppable force. Their aggression is legendary. Few animals dare to stand their ground when the buffalo advance, for these are prey that will not only defend, they will pursue. Sometimes the herd does not stop at defense. If a lion has threatened their own, the buffalo will track their adversary, seeking retribution with relentless resolve. This unwavering solidarity is the herd's greatest strength. Each buffalo is willing to risk everything for the safety of the group, knowing that their own survival depends on the unity of all. Bonds are forged not just in battle, but in moments of peace. Gentle nuzzles, shared grooming, and the quiet comfort of companionship. Communication is constant and complex. Grunts, bellows, and subtle gestures keep the herd connected, every message reinforcing the ties that bind them. When one is threatened, the others respond without hesitation, encircling the vulnerable and presenting a united front to any would-be attacker. Even in the chaos of a hunt, the herd will turn back for a fallen comrade, risking their own safety to drive off predators and rescue the injured. This collective defense is a masterpiece of evolution, honed by countless encounters with danger. It is the reason the herd endures generation after generation. The young, sheltered at the center, learn these lessons from birth: how to move as one, how to trust in the herd, and how to stand strong together. In the vast, perilous world of the Savanna, the Cape buffalo's greatest lesson is clear. Survival is not the triumph of the individual, but the victory of the united. In their world, unity is not just strength, it is life itself. The lion, with its regal mane and piercing gaze, is the undisputed king of the Savanna, a predator whose very presence commands respect. At the apex of the food chain, the lion's reign is challenged by few, but none more formidable than the Cape buffalo. In the Cape buffalo, the lion finds not just prey, but a rival, a creature of immense strength, unpredictable temperament, and unyielding will. Their encounters are not mere hunts, but epic contests of survival, where both predator and prey must summon every ounce of cunning and courage. This conflict is as old as the Savanna itself. Each meeting is a high-stakes drama, a timeless battle where brute force meets tactical brilliance. The lion's power is matched only by the buffalo's resilience, and every confrontation is a test of strategy, endurance, and instinct. For a pride of lions, a full-grown buffalo is the ultimate prize. A single kill can sustain the entire pride for days, but the reward comes with grave risk. The buffalo is no passive victim. It is a fortress of muscle and horn, capable of turning the tables on its would-be hunters. The hunt is a perilous gamble. Lions must weigh every move, for a single miscalculation can result in shattered bones or even death. The buffalo's horns are weapons of lethal precision, and its sheer bulk can crush a lion in an instant. To overcome such a formidable foe, lions rely on patience and planning. They study the herd from the shadows, watching for signs of weakness. A limp, a lagging calf, a momentary lapse in vigilance. Recklessness has no place in this contest. The pride waits, sometimes for hours, hidden in the tall grass, their golden eyes fixed on the herd, their bodies tense with anticipation. When the moment comes, the lions move as one, silent, coordinated, each member playing a vital role. The lionesses, agile and swift, lead the charge, while the males, with their brute strength, are ready to deliver the final blow. Nightfall is their ally. Under the cloak of darkness, the lion's superior night vision gives them a crucial edge. They melt into the shadows, invisible to the buffalo, until it is almost too late. Using the terrain to their advantage, the lions stalk the herd with ghostly silence. Every step is calculated, every movement deliberate, as they close the distance between themselves and their quarry. The attack is sudden and explosive, the lions charge, sowing chaos and confusion. The herd erupts in panic, hooves thundering, dust swirling, as the lions attempt to isolate a single buffalo from the protective wall of that group. The pride's strategy is ruthless but effective. They target the vulnerable, the young calf, the aging bull, the injured or sick. These individuals are the most likely to fall behind, the easiest to separate from the herd's protection. A successful hunt depends on flawless teamwork. Lions attack from multiple directions, cutting off escape routes, overwhelming their prey with numbers and precision. Yet more often than not, the buffalo's defenses hold. The herd rallies, forming a living shield around the vulnerable, their horns presented in a formidable wall. The lions, faced with this united front, are forced to retreat, their hunt ending in failure. The buffalo's greatest weapon is not its horns, but its unity. When threatened, the herd forms a tight circle, the strongest adults facing outward, ready to confront any attacker. But if a buffalo is isolated, the battle becomes a desperate struggle. Surrounded, the lone animal fights with astonishing ferocity, every muscle straining, every movement a bid for survival. With a bellow of rage, the buffalo charges, swinging its horns with deadly accuracy. Even the bravest lion must respect the power of a cornered buffalo, for a single blow can be fatal. The herd is never far behind. Hearing the distress calls, they surge forward, a stampede of muscle and fury. The lions, outnumbered and outmatched, are often forced to abandon their prey and flee. For a solitary lion, the prospect of facing an adult buffalo is a death sentence. Even the most powerful male knows better than to challenge such a beast alone. Each encounter is a spectacle of raw power and primal instinct. The outcome is never certain. Sometimes the lion's strategy prevails, sometimes the buffalo's strength and solidarity win the day. When the lions succeed, it is only through perfect cooperation and relentless determination. The pride swarms the buffalo, each member playing their part in a deadly ballet of claws and teeth. But more often, it is the buffalo that stands triumphant, driving the lions away with a display of collective might. The Savanna is littered with the scars of these battles, lions limping from goring wounds, the remains of failed hunts, and the stories of those who did not survive. This relentless struggle shapes the destinies of both species. It is a contest that hones the lion's intelligence and teamwork and forges the buffalo's unity and vigilance. The lions, ever adaptive, refine their tactics with each encounter, learning to cooperate more closely, to anticipate the buffalo's moves, to strike with greater precision. The buffalo, in turn, grow ever more reliant on the strength of the herd, their survival bound to the collective, their defense a testament to the power of unity. This is the ultimate clash of titans, a raw, unending spectacle of strategy, strength, and survival. It is the very essence of the African wilderness, where every day is a battle and only the most cunning and courageous endure. While lions are their most famous adversaries, Cape buffalo must also contend with other formidable predators, each wielding unique strategies and presenting dangers that test the buffalo's instincts and resilience at every turn. Along the riverbanks and at the muddy fringes of waterholes, the Nile crocodile lies in wait. This ancient reptile, armoured in scales and patience, is a master of the ambush. Its presence is rarely announced. Just a ripple, a pair of eyes, or the faintest movement beneath the surface betrays its position. The crocodile's hunting style is defined by absolute stillness, followed by a sudden, explosive burst of power. Every muscle is coiled, every sense attuned to the slightest vibration in the water. Beneath the murky surface, the crocodile becomes a shadow, almost invisible to the buffalo approaching for a drink. The buffalo, driven by thirst but wary from experience, steps cautiously, its nostrils flaring and ears flicking at every sound. In a heartbeat, the water erupts. The crocodile launches itself upward, jaws agape, targeting the buffalo's muzzle or leg. The force of the attack is staggering, bone-crushing, relentless. The buffalo bellows in shock and pain, the struggle instantly becoming a desperate fight for survival. Locked together, predator and prey thrash in the shallows. The crocodile twists and rolls, trying to drag the buffalo deeper, while the buffalo, muscles straining, fights to keep its footing on the slippery bank. The water churns with mud and blood, echoing the primal battle between these ancient rivals. The buffalo's only hope lies in its immense strength and the solid ground beneath its hooves. It braces, pulling back with every ounce of power, while the crocodile, using its massive tail and the weight of its body, tries to drag its victim into the depths where escape is impossible. The commotion rarely goes unnoticed. The rest of the herd, alerted by the cries and splashing, stampedes toward the water's edge. Their unity is their strength, and in numbers they become a force even the crocodile hesitates to challenge. The herd's arrival is dramatic. Dozens of massive bodies, horns lowered, eyes blazing with protective fury. Sometimes their sheer presence and the threat of trampling force the crocodile to release its grip, retreating into the safety of the water. Even when a buffalo escapes, the ordeal leaves its mark. Deep puncture wounds, torn flesh and broken bones are common. These injuries can fester, weakening the buffalo and making it an easier target for other predators or scavengers in the days to come. Every approach to water is a calculated gamble. The buffalo must balance its need to drink with the ever-present threat lurking just beneath the surface, a tension that shapes every movement and decision. Away from the rivers on the open plains, a different kind of threat emerges: the African wild dog. These predators are the embodiment of coordination and endurance, their power lying not in individual strength, but in the unity of the pack. Wild dogs move as one, each member attuned to the others, communicating through subtle glances and body language. Their stamina is legendary, and their hunts are a display of relentless pursuit and flawless teamwork. When the pack sets its sights on a buffalo, the chase is orchestrated with military precision. They fan out, anticipating the buffalo's every move, driving it away from the safety of the herd. The wild dog's strategy is to isolate the vulnerable, often a young, old, or injured buffalo. Once separated, the pack's relentless pursuit begins, each dog taking turns at the front, conserving energy for the long chase. The chase can stretch for miles across the savanna. The dogs run in relays, some dropping back to rest while others surge forward, never allowing the buffalo a moment's respite. The air is filled with the pounding of hooves and the yips of the pack, a symphony of pursuit. As exhaustion sets in, the buffalo's defenses falter. The wild dogs close in, circling and harrying their prey, their persistence wearing down even the strongest individuals. Even a powerful bull, when alone, is at a severe disadvantage. The pack's coordination is relentless, each dog darting in to nip at legs and flanks, always retreating before the buffalo can retaliate with its deadly horns. The attack is a blur of movement, dogs darting in and out, snapping at the buffalo's legs and underbelly, always avoiding the dangerous sweep of horns. The buffalo spins and charges, but the pack is always just out of reach, their tactics honed by generations of survival. Eventually, the buffalo's strength wanes. The wild dog's method, though brutal, is ruthlessly effective. Their persistence and teamwork allow them to bring down prey many times their size. The buffalo is overwhelmed from all sides, the pack's constant movement and multiple points of attack breaking down its defenses until it can no longer stand. This is the power of social predators: intelligence, communication, and cooperation overcoming even the most formidable of adversaries. For the Cape buffalo, every day is a test of vigilance and strength. Whether at the water's edge or out on the open plains, danger can come from any direction, and survival depends on the herd's unity, the individual's awareness, and the timeless dance between predator and prey. In the unforgiving expanse of the African savanna, where every day is a test of endurance and instinct, survival is rarely a solitary endeavor. Here, the most successful creatures are those who forge alliances, sometimes with the most unlikely of partners. Among the most fascinating of these partnerships is the enduring bond between the formidable Cape buffalo and the diminutive, ever-watchful Oxpecker. These small, energetic birds are a constant presence, darting and fluttering across the broad backs and sturdy flanks of the buffalo. Their sharp claws grip the coarse hide, and their bright eyes miss nothing. To the casual observer, it may seem as though the Oxpecker is simply hitching a ride, taking advantage of the buffalo's size and strength to traverse the savanna with ease. Yet beneath this apparent simplicity lies a relationship of remarkable complexity, a living example of symbiosis where two very different animals have evolved to depend on one another for survival. This is not mere coexistence, but a carefully balanced pact. The buffalo, a giant among grazers, and the oxpecker, a bird no larger than a man's hand, have woven their lives together in a dance of mutual benefit. The oxpecker's role is that of a meticulous caretaker. With nimble movements and a beak perfectly adapted for the task, it scours the buffalo's thick hide, searching for the tiny invaders that torment its host. Ticks, fleas, and blood-sucking flies burrow deep into the buffalo's skin, feeding on its blood and spreading disease. For the oxpecker, these pests are a feast, its primary source of nourishment. With relentless precision, the oxpecker plucks hundreds of parasites from its host each day. Its beak probes into creases and folds, reaching places the buffalo cannot, providing relief from the constant irritation and reducing the risk of infection. For the buffalo, this service is invaluable. The removal of parasites not only soothes its skin, but also helps maintain its health and vigor, crucial for an animal that must always be ready to defend itself or flee from predators. The oxpecker's diligence eases the buffalo's burden, reducing the relentless assault of biting insects and the diseases they carry. In return, the buffalo offers the oxpecker a moving banquet and a safe haven from ground-based threats. Perched high atop the buffalo's back, the oxpecker enjoys a vantage point that few other birds can claim. From this lofty seat, it surveys the savanna, always alert for the slightest sign of danger. But the oxpecker's value to the buffalo extends beyond pest control. It is also a vigilant sentinel, its senses finely tuned to the rhythms of the wild. With a keen gaze and acute hearing, the oxpecker is often the first to detect the approach of a predator. Its constant scanning of the horizon is a silent promise of early warning. When a lion slinks through the tall grass, hidden from the buffalo's view, it is often the oxpecker that notices the subtle shift in the wind, the faintest rustle of movement. In an instant, the oxpecker's demeanor changes. It stiffens, then bursts into flight, its wings beating the air in a sudden flurry. With a piercing, hissing screech, the oxpecker sounds the alarm, its call slicing through the stillness and alerting the buffalo to imminent danger. The buffalo, attuned to the oxpecker's warnings, reacts instantly. Heads snap up, muscles tense, and the herd shifts from calm to alert in a heartbeat. Trusting the instincts of their feathered companions, the buffalo prepare to defend themselves or flee, often before the predator has a chance to strike. This partnership is a living testament to the intricate web of life on the savanna, where survival is shaped by cooperation as much as by competition. The mighty buffalo, with its immense strength, gains a vigilant guardian and a tireless hygienist. The oxpecker, delicate yet resourceful, finds both sustenance and sanctuary. Their destinies are bound together, each enhancing the other's chance of survival. The sight of oxpeckers riding atop a healthy buffalo is more than a charming image. It is a sign of a thriving ecosystem where the balance of nature is maintained through countless such alliances. Day after day, across the endless plains, this silent pact endures. It is a story written not in words, but in the shared glances, the gentle pecks, and the ever-watchful eyes of two very different creatures united by the ancient laws of symbiosis. The Cape buffalo is not the only horned giant to engage in epic battles for survival and dominance, but within the vast tapestry of the African savanna, the buffalo story is woven tightly with the lives of countless other creatures, each playing their part in a delicate, ever-shifting balance. Across Africa and in the mountains of other continents, other magnificent creatures use their impressive headgear in similar ways. Yet on the savanna, the buffalo's presence is felt by all. Their herds move like living fortresses, shaping the very landscape as they graze, trample and wallow, opening up new spaces for grasses to grow and water to collect. In East Africa, for instance, we find the Ankole Watusi cattle. These animals, with their own formidable horns, share the grasslands with buffalo, antelope, and zebra, each species carving out its own niche. Though technically a domestic breed, many now live wild, and they're famous for their astonishingly large horns. These horns are not just for show, they are tools for defense, for display, and for navigating the complex social world of the herd. These horns, which can span over 2 meters from tip to tip, are not just for show. They are a living adaptation, a testament to the pressures of both predator and rival. They are filled with a network of blood vessels that help the cattle to regulate their body temperature in the intense African heat. In the shimmering haze, herds gather at waterholes where buffalo, antelope, and even elephants converge, each wary of the other, each aware of the ever-present threat of lions lurking in the tall grass. Like the buffalo, male Ankol-Watusi use their giant horns to compete for status and mating rights. These contests ripple through the herd, influencing alliances and rivalries, shaping the next generation. Their fights, however, are often more ritualized. Unlike the brutal clashes of the buffalo, these encounters are measured, a dance of strength and restraint, where the outcome is as much about endurance as it is about force. They involve a great deal of pushing and shoving, a test of neck and shoulder strength as they lock their immense horns together. Around them, the herd watches, the outcome determining not just who leads, but who eats first, who drinks first, and who finds safety at the center of the group when danger approaches. These contests are about establishing a hierarchy and gaining access to vital resources like the best grazing spots or water sources. The buffalo, too, must constantly negotiate their place, not just among themselves, but with the other great grazers and browsers of the plains. While they are not typically fending off predators in the same way as wild buffalo, their horns remain a crucial tool for navigating the social complexities of their herds and ensuring their own genetic legacy. In the wild, every interaction, every nudge, every clash, every display echoes through the ecosystem, affecting not just the herd, but the predators that follow, the birds that feed on insects stirred up by hooves, and the grasses that thrive in the wake of their passing. Venturing far from the African plains, high in the rugged Rocky Mountains of North America, we encounter the bighorn sheep. Here the drama of horns and hierarchy plays out in a world of stone and sky, where every step is a test of balance and every battle a test of will. These animals are perfectly adapted to life at extreme altitudes with flexible, forked hooves that give them an incredible grip on steep, rocky terrain. Their movements shape the mountain ecosystem, dispersing seeds, creating trails, and providing food for eagles and mountain lions. The males, or rams, are renowned for their massive curled horns, which can weigh up to 14 kilograms. These horns are not just weapons, they are records of a lifetime's battles, each ring a testament to years survived in a harsh, competitive world. During the mating season, the mountains echo with the thunderous sound of these horns colliding. The spectacle draws the attention of all nearby creatures, alerting wary females, scattering smaller animals, and even attracting opportunistic predators hoping for a weakened ram. Rams will charge at each other from a distance, rearing up on their hind legs before crashing their heads together with breathtaking force. The shock waves of these collisions reverberate through the herd, establishing order and determining which genes will shape the next generation. This dramatic spectacle is a pure contest of power. The outcome ripples through the mountain community, influencing not just the sheep but the predators and scavengers that depend on their success and failure. The impacts are so violent they are equivalent to a car crashing at 60 kilometers per hour. Yet the rams rise again and again, their resilience a marvel of natural engineering. Their thick skulls are specially adapted to absorb this incredible shock without causing injury. This adaptation is not just for survival, it is a key to their place in the ecosystem, allowing them to compete, to thrive, and to shape the world around them. These battles are about establishing dominance, with the winner earning the right to mate with the females in the group. The strongest rams pass on their genes, ensuring the continued vigor of the herd. It is a brutal but effective way of ensuring that only the strongest and fittest rams pass on their genes. The cycle of competition and selection shapes not just the sheep, but the entire mountain ecosystem. From the savanna to the mountains, horns are a universal symbol of power used in the timeless struggle for survival and reproduction. In every clash, every display, and every alliance, the fate of the herd and the world around it is decided, echoing through the broader ecosystem in ways both subtle and profound. Across the vast savannas and rugged mountains, horns are more than just impressive headgear. They are the result of millions of years of evolution, each species adapting its own unique design to meet the challenges of its environment. While the basic purposes of defense and dominance unite all horned animals, the way these tools are shaped, wielded, and evolved tells a story of survival, rivalry, and adaptation. The Cape buffalo, for instance, is a master of brute force. Its horns are fused at the base into a thick helmet-like boss, a living shield that covers the forehead. This adaptation is not just for show, it is a fortress designed to absorb and deflect the tremendous impacts of head-to-head combat. When two buffalo bulls clash, they do so with thunderous power. The bosses meet in a resounding collision, the sound echoing across the plains. This is not a delicate contest, but a test of raw strength and resilience where only the toughest can endure. The buffalo's strategy is simple yet effective. Absorb the shock, then use sheer mass and powerful neck muscles to drive a rival backward. The contest is as much about stamina as it is about strength, with each animal pushing until one yields. But these horns are not just for fighting rivals. When a lion dares to attack, the buffalo's horns become weapons of survival. The sharp, upward-curving tips can gore, toss, and even kill a predator, turning the tables in a heartbeat. This dual-purpose adaptation, defense against both rivals and predators, makes the buffalo's horns a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. In contrast, the greater kudu, a denizen of the wooded savannas, has evolved a very different approach. The kudu's world is one of dense thickets and dappled light, where agility and finesse are as important as strength. The male kudu's horns are long, elegant spirals, sometimes stretching over a meter in length. These are not built for smashing, but for skillful maneuvering. The spiral shape is an adaptation for technical combat, allowing the kudu to lock horns with a rival in a contest of leverage and balance. Unlike the blunt, solid bosses of the buffalo or the curled battering rams of the bighorn sheep, kudu horns are designed for precision. Their shape prevents fatal injuries, allowing males to test each other's strength without risking death. A crucial adaptation in a world where every life counts. When two male kudus meet, the encounter is almost ritualistic. They circle, sizing each other up, each movement calculated and cautious. The contest begins as they lock their spiraled horns, twisting and pushing, each trying to outmaneuver the other. It is a battle of endurance and technique where the winner is often the one with the greater patience and skill. This wrestling match is a delicate balance of power, a test of who can maintain control without losing footing. The spiral horns act as levers, amplifying the force of each movement, but also ensuring that the fight rarely ends in serious injury. Far from the savanna in the rocky heights of North America, the bighorn sheep has developed yet another solution. Here the landscape is harsh and the battles are even harsher. The bighorn's horns are massive, curling into dramatic arcs. These are not just for show, they are the ultimate battering rams built to withstand and deliver incredible force. When rams fight, they charge at full speed, colliding with a force that can be heard from hundreds of meters away. The impact is so intense that their skulls have evolved to absorb the shock, protecting their brains from injury. These battles are among the most violent in the animal kingdom, with dust flying and bodies recoiling from the sheer power of the collision. Only the strongest, most resilient rams can claim victory and the right to mate. The aftermath is often a stunned ram, momentarily dazed but rarely seriously injured, a testament to the remarkable adaptations of their skulls and horns. In these contests, victory belongs to the ram that can endure the most, forcing his rival to retreat and securing his place atop the rocky hierarchy. This is a strategy of overwhelming force, where shock and awe rule, and only the most robust survive to pass on their genes. Each of these horn designs is a marvel of adaptation, perfectly suited to the animal's environment and way of life. The buffalo's boss is a shield for the open plains, the kudu's spirals a tool for technical duels in the bush, and the bighorn's curls a weapon for mountainous clashes. In the savanna, the buffalo's horns serve not just the individual but the herd. When danger looms, they form a living wall, horns facing outward, ready to repel any threat. The kudu's horns, meanwhile, allow for ritualized contests that maintain social order without unnecessary bloodshed, a vital adaptation in a world where every member of the herd is precious. For the bighorn sheep, the horns are the ultimate test of strength and stamina, forged by the demands of life on the cliffs and crags. Whether used for pushing, wrestling, or ramming, these remarkable structures are far more than simple ornaments. They are the keys to survival, the tools of dominance, and the legacy of countless generations. In every twist, curve, and collision, the story of adaptation is written, each horn a testament to the relentless pressures of combat, courtship, and survival in the wild. Across the endless golden plains of the African savanna, the Cape buffalo moves as a living force of nature. These great horned beasts are not simply survivors in a harsh world. They are the very architects of the ecosystem, shaping the land with every step, every breath, and every struggle for survival. Each day the buffalo's presence ripples through the savanna. Their movements, their feeding, and their migrations are the pulse of the grasslands, orchestrating a symphony of life that sustains countless other creatures. Vast herds sweep across the plains, acting as nature's gardeners. Their powerful jaws tear through the tough, sun-baked grasses, clearing away the old and making way for the new. As they graze, they mow down enormous quantities of coarse, fibrous grass, opening up the earth to sunlight and rain. In their wake, a carpet of fresh green shoots springs to life. This tender new growth becomes a feast for smaller herbivores, gazelles, impalas, and countless others, who depend on the buffalo's appetite to unlock the savanna's bounty. The buffalo's relentless march carves winding trails through the dense bush. These paths, pressed deep into the earth by thousands of hooves, become lifelines for other animals, leading them to hidden waterholes and safe passage through tangled thickets. Their hooves, broad and heavy, churn the soil with every step, breaking the hard crust and mixing nutrients into the ground. As the herds thunder across the land, dust rises and the earth is aerated, creating the perfect conditions for seeds to settle and germinate. Seeds, once hidden beneath the surface, are pressed into the fertile soil, where they take root and burst forth as new life, adding to the savanna's rich tapestry of plants. Even the buffalo's dung is a treasure. Packed with nutrients, it fertilizes the earth, nourishing the next generation of grasses. Dung beetles and other insects flock to these rich deposits, rolling, feeding, and breaking them down, further enriching the soil. These insects, in turn, become a vital food source for birds and small mammals, weaving the buffalo's legacy into every corner of the ecosystem. The buffalo's influence radiates outward, sustaining a complex web of life. From the smallest insect to the swiftest antelope, all are touched by the buffalo's enduring presence. They are a keystone species, the foundation upon which the savanna's health and diversity depend. While the bighorn sheep shape the high mountains, it is the buffalo who command the plains, their legacy written in every blade of grass and every animal that thrives beside them. The buffalo's story is one of survival against all odds. Each day they face the threat of predators, lions lurking in the tall grass waiting for a moment of weakness. Yet their strength lies in unity. The herd stands together, a wall of muscle and horn, defying danger and protecting the vulnerable within their ranks. Their migrations are epic journeys, driven by the search for water and fresh grazing. Through drought and flood they endure, adapting to the ever-changing rhythms of the land. In their wake, the savanna flourishes. The buffalo's resilience and determination are etched into the landscape, a testament to the power of animal life to shape the world. Their legacy is not just survival, but the creation of abundance, a living, breathing ecosystem that thrives because of their presence. The buffalo are the silent stewards of the savanna, their every action echoing through generations of life. Their battles for survival, their migrations, and their daily struggles are the threads that bind the savanna together, ensuring its continued vitality. They are not passive inhabitants, but active shapers, creators of trails, sculptors of grasslands, and guardians of the delicate balance of life. From the sun-baked plains of Africa to the farthest reaches of the wild, the buffalo's enduring legacy is written upon the land itself, a story of strength, resilience, and the power of animal life to transform the world. In the grand tapestry of nature, the buffalo stands as a reminder that every creature, large or small, has a purpose. The health of the savanna and the planet depends on the survival of these magnificent animals and the wild places they call home. Gap 3S. The story of the Cape buffalo is incomplete without mentioning the youngest members of the herd, the calves. Born into a world of constant peril, these small, vulnerable creatures embark on a journey of survival from their very first breath. Each calf's life begins as a fragile thread in the vast tapestry of the savanna. From the moment they are born, buffalo calves face an array of challenges. Their first task is to stand and walk, a crucial skill they must master quickly to keep up with the moving herd. Within hours of birth, these young ones are already on their feet, wobbling but determined, driven by an instinct to stay close to their mothers. For the first few months, the bond between a mother and her calf is unbreakable. The mother buffalo is fiercely protective, always keeping her calf within sight. She nurtures it, providing the nourishment and guidance needed to navigate the dangers of the savanna. Her low, comforting calls reassure the calf, while her powerful presence deters potential predators. Yet the savanna is a harsh teacher. Predators like lions and hyenas are a constant threat, always on the lookout for an easy meal. To survive, the calves must learn to stay within the protective circle of the herd. When danger approaches, the adults form a formidable barrier of muscle and horn, encircling the young ones and standing their ground against any threat. As the calves grow, they begin to explore their surroundings, learning the ways of the herd. Play is a vital part of their development, helping them build strength and social bonds. They chase each other through the tall grasses, spar with budding horns, and mimic the behaviors of the adults. These playful interactions are more than just fun. They are essential training for the challenges ahead. Learning to find food and water is another critical skill. Under the watchful eyes of their elders, the calves observe and mimic the grazing patterns of the herd. They learn to identify the best grasses and the locations of hidden water sources. This knowledge is crucial for their survival as they transition from milk to solid food. The dry season is particularly challenging for young buffalo. Water becomes scarce, and the herd must travel great distances to find it. The calves, still developing their stamina, struggle to keep up with the relentless pace. But the herd moves as one, with the stronger members helping the weaker, ensuring that no calf is left behind. In these early years, the calves also learn the importance of unity. The herd's strength lies in its numbers, and every member, no matter how small, plays a role in its survival. The young ones observe the cooperation and coordination of the adults, internalizing the lessons of teamwork and mutual support. As they grow into adolescence, the calves begin to test their boundaries, gradually gaining independence. They participate more actively in the herd's activities, contributing to the collective effort of finding food, water, and safety. Their youthful energy and curiosity drive them to explore new territories, always within the protective embrace of the herd. The journey from calf to adult buffalo is a testament to resilience and adaptability. Each day the young buffalo face new challenges, learning and growing stronger with each experience. Their survival is a delicate balance of instinct, learning, and the unwavering support of the herd. In the grand narrative of the Savanna, the story of the buffalo calves is one of hope and continuity. They are the future of the herd, the next generation of guardians of the grasslands. Their struggles and triumphs are woven into the fabric of the ecosystem, ensuring that the legacy of the Cape buffalo endures for generations to come. Through their eyes we see the promise of life renewed, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Savanna. Gap 2S. As the sun dips below the horizon, the Savanna transforms into a landscape of shadows and whispers. While lions are often seen as the primary threat to the Cape buffalo, the herd must also contend with a host of other predators, each as cunning and relentless as the next. Hyenas, with their haunting laughter echoing through the night, are masters of patience and teamwork. These formidable hunters often trail the herd, waiting for a moment of weakness, a calf that lags behind, or an injured adult. In the darkness, their numbers and relentless pursuit can wear down even the strongest buffalo, testing the herd's unity and resolve. Leopards, on the other hand, move like ghosts through the undergrowth. Solitary and stealthy, they rarely challenge a full-grown buffalo. Instead, their keen eyes scan for the vulnerable. A calf separated from its mother, or a young one straying too close to the trees. With a sudden burst of speed, the leopard strikes, relying on surprise and agility to claim its prize before vanishing into the thicket. The buffalo, however, are not passive victims in this nightly drama. Their sharp senses alert them to the approach of danger. At the slightest hint of movement in the grass, the herd tightens its formation, encircling the young and infirm. The adults lower their horns, ready to defend their own against any would-be intruder. This constant tension between predator and prey shapes the lives of the buffalo. It is a test of vigilance, strength, and solidarity. Every encounter is a lesson passed down through generations, teaching the herd to adapt, to endure, and to thrive in a world where danger lurks with every step. In the delicate balance of the Savanna, hyenas and leopards play their part in the story of the Cape buffalo. Their presence is a reminder that survival is never guaranteed, and that the drama of life on the grasslands is written in both triumph and loss. As dawn breaks over the endless plains, the Cape buffalo begin a journey as old as the Savanna itself. Each year, the rhythm of the seasons calls the herd to move, chasing the promise of fresh grass and water as the rains sweep across the land. This migration is not a simple trek, but a test of resilience, guided by instinct and memory. The dry season brings with it a harsh reality. Rivers shrink to muddy trickles, grass withers under a relentless sun, and dust hangs heavy in the air. The herd must travel vast distances, navigating a landscape transformed by scarcity. Along the way they face parched earth, hidden predators, and the ever-present threat of exhaustion. Yet the buffalo are not without their strategies. Led by experienced matriarchs, the herd follows ancient routes to hidden waterholes and pockets of greenery. Their hooves churn the soil, breaking the hard crust and allowing new shoots to emerge when the rains return. They pause at familiar rest stops, where shade and safety await under the branches of acacia trees. With the arrival of the wet season, the world awakens. Torrents of rain turn the savanna into a sea of green, and the herds scatter to graze on the bounty. Calves born during this time find strength in abundance, while the adults regain their vigor. The cycle of movement, hardship, and renewal continues, each migration shaping the herd, forging bonds, and ensuring their survival. In this ever-changing world, adaptation is the key to endurance. The Cape buffalo have learned to read the signs of the land, to move in harmony with the seasons, and to face every challenge together. Their journey is a testament to the power of memory, leadership, and unity, a living legacy written across the vast canvas of the African savanna. Beneath the surface of the Cape buffalo's thundering migration lies a silent order, a complex social hierarchy that shapes every step of the herd's journey. At the center of this society stands the matriarch, an elder female whose experience guides the group through the savanna's shifting moods. Her decisions, where to graze, when to rest, how to respond to danger, are respected by all, forged by years of survival and memory. Around her, smaller family groups form tight-knit circles within the larger herd. Bonds run deep, mothers nurture calves, siblings move in synchrony, and old allies flank one another in times of threat. Dominance is not always decided by strength alone. Social intelligence, memory, and the ability to read subtle cues determine who leads and who follows. Communication within the herd is a language without words. A flick of the tail, a low grunt, a sudden change in posture, all are signals that ripple through the group. When danger lurks, a single warning snort can send hundreds into coordinated motion. During moments of calm, soft murmurs and gentle nudges reinforce trust and unity. Young bulls, restless and ambitious, test boundaries at the edges of the herd, sparring in displays of power. Some will eventually leave to form bachelor groups, while others may rise in rank, earning their place among the elders. Through every challenge, the buffalo rely on their social fabric, a network of relationships, forged by time and necessity, that gives the herd its strength. In the vastness of the savanna, it is this silent order, this unspoken understanding, that allows the Cape buffalo to thrive. Each member knows their place, each action has meaning, and together they move as one, a living testament to the power of leadership, loyalty, and communication in the wild. As the dry season tightens its grip, the savanna transforms. Rivers shrink to muddy ribbons and waterholes become precious lifelines. For the Cape buffalo, survival now hinges on a relentless search for water, a journey that tests the limits of endurance and the bonds within the herd. Dawn breaks over a parched landscape. The buffalo move in slow, deliberate lines, their hooves kicking up dust as they travel further each day. The matriarch leads with unwavering determination, guided by memory to hidden springs and fading pools. Calves stumble, mothers nudge them forward, and older bulls flank the herd, ever watchful for lurking predators drawn to the same scarce resources. At the shrinking waterholes, tensions rise. Buffalo share uneasy space with zebras, wildebeest, and antelope, all drawn by the promise of relief. Crocodiles lurk in the shallows, waiting for the desperate and the weak. Elephants arrive, their size and strength commanding respect, often displacing smaller herds. In these moments, the social order within the buffalo herd is mirrored by the hierarchy between species. Each animal negotiating its turn, each encounter a delicate balance between cooperation and competition. The scarcity of water tests old alliances and forges new ones. Oxpeckers flock to the buffalo, feasting on ticks and parasites, their partnership more vital than ever. Wild dogs and lions linger at the edges, knowing the weakened and the weary may soon fall behind. Yet even in hardship the herd endures. They rest in the shade of acacia trees, sharing what little moisture is left in the dew. Calves are shepherded with extra care, and the matriarch's leadership becomes more crucial with every passing day. In the heart of the drought, the Cape buffalo's resilience is revealed, not just in their strength, but in their unity, their adaptability, and their unwavering will to survive. Amidst the struggle, the savanna's silent order persists, shaped and challenged by the ebb and flow of water, the true lifeblood of the wild. As dusk descends, the savanna transforms once more. The golden grass fades into silvery shadows, and the air grows heavy with anticipation. For the Cape buffalo, night is not a time for rest, but for vigilance, a shift from the scorching struggle for water to the silent battle for survival. The herd gathers close, calves nestled safely in the heart of the group. Older bulls take their positions at the periphery, their eyes reflecting the faint moonlight. In the darkness, danger multiplies. Lions, masters of the night, slink through the tall grass, their movements almost invisible. Hyenas call in the distance, their laughter echoing across the plains, while solitary leopards prowl the fringes, ever patient. The buffalo's senses sharpen, ears flick at the slightest rustle, nostrils flare at unfamiliar scents. Communication is subtle, a low grunt, a shift in posture, a ripple of movement through the herd. The matriarch leads the group to open ground where ambush is harder for predators, and the gathered mass of bodies becomes a fortress. Other animals too emerge under the cover of night. Elephants pass silently, barely acknowledged. A herd of impala moves cautiously nearby, hoping that proximity to the buffalo will offer some protection. Even the oxpeckers, usually so active during the day, roost quietly among the buffalo's thick hides. But the tension never fades. When a lion's roar shatters the silence, the herd tenses as one. Bulls lower their horns, mothers press closer to their young. Sometimes a predator tests the herd's defenses, a brief charge, a probing swipe. The buffalo respond with coordinated defiance, a wall of muscle and horn that sends even the boldest attackers retreating into the night. Through these long hours, sleep comes in short, uneasy shifts. Each buffalo relies on the vigilance of the others, knowing that only together can they withstand the dangers that lurk in the darkness. As the first hints of dawn colour the horizon, the herd breathes a collective sigh of relief, having survived another night under the watchful eyes of the savanna's predators. In the dance of shadows and moonlight, the Cape buffalo's greatest strength is revealed, not in isolation, but in the unbreakable bond of the herd, ever watchful, ever enduring.